Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to a new week. This is the last full week before the start of the season, guys, because it's next Tuesday that we start with the real ball. Rick Kamla, Hall of Famer Steve Alexander, a.k.a. Dr. A. We have the great Andre Lemouche with us as well, and we are the Fantasy NBA today, brought to you by FanDuel. Our draft guide is up. It's the best in the biz. Go to sportsethos.com and check that out. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, please, and subscribe to our podcast feed, the Fantasy NBA Today. We are going to slide into a lot of news here. Okay, Doc? We don't have time for salutations. How was your weekend? We got to just dive right in. All right. We got huge news like in between the last time we were live on the air about LeBron James. Shams Charania reporting he's going to be out at least 3 to 4 weeks due to a sciatica on his right side. The nerve issue in his right glute, it's all connected, right? Shams reported that he's been diagnosed with sciatica, will not be available when the regular season begins. So when this came out, there was probably 2 weeks left in the preseason. We could get LeBron James back a week or two into the regular season. Like he might miss 2 regular season weeks. However, it says at least 3 to 4 weeks, right? And, Doc, we have to also marry that report with this report. JJ Redick said LeBron James is on his own timeline when asked about the superstar's preseason availability. You also had that report that came out and it was with Rich Paul and Clutch Sports and all that LeBron James is kind of like looking at the Lakers and he's in wait and see mode. Okay, like show me something here. So all of this, Doc, I wonder if the spite season that I thought was going to happen is the opposite, okay? And he's pissed and he's kind of sort of taking his ball and going somewhere else. I don't know. Make sense of this for us.
I can't. And when we first had that discussion, I was like, man, this may be a season where LeBron just doesn't care and doesn't try. And like, get me out of here and let me do something else. You were like, no, I think he's a professional. He's LeBron James. He's going to come out and do what he does. And I was kind of torn, and I went with you, and I don't know if this is an attitude thing, if it's a contract thing, or if it's an injury. I mean, my guess he's actually injured. I will tell you this. Either way, I am no longer drafting LeBron. Whereas before this situation, I was kind of all in. I thought I was with you. He's going to have a big season. He's going to prove everybody wrong and go off again. He's playing with Luka. He's got a chance to win a chip. Whereas now, in tomorrow's show, Rick, a little spoiler alert, we're doing players that are hard to rank, right? And to me, LeBron is right there with the hardest players to rank because it was already sort of tricky before the injury. And now it's just like, man, dude's 40, 41 years old. He's got this injury hanging over his head. So I'm out. I'm out of the LeBron game. I think when people are taking LeBron, I'm not going to be looking at LeBron. So I'm not planning on having him on any teams.
So LeBron James has dipped into the second round. And for that, Doc, it's a situation where I'm like you. I'm out. I'm looking to take Amen. I'm looking to take Giddey. Those are my second round targets right now. Obviously, if Harden slips, and I'm early second, I'll take him. But that's kind of where I'm at. Love getting Giddey in round 2. Amen is tough. Amen's getting up close to the turn on the second round, Doc. Like you got to get your business in early with that dude. But I agree. And so I got LeBron and Cam Dynasty, Doc, and I just got to ride it out here. But I don't want additional shares of LeBron because now there's like organizational drama. And there has been ownership took over. They didn't tell LeBron James about it. You max out Luka. The report comes out that the team is looking at this as LeBron's last year in LA, right? Like they bailed on him before he bailed on them. But I thought all that would be internalized in a positive way, like Jordan style, where F you, I'm going to go have the best year of my career. But this may be some Bron drama right here. And Doc, We've seen Braun drama before. Okay. And I Brew was talking last week, probably half jokingly, about Golden State. I mean, I think that makes a ton of sense. I don't know if, when, how, what, but we're moving on. We're out on LeBron James in round 2. I think I speak for both of us. I would recommend that you go elsewhere. I think it's going to be a high maintenance year for LeBron James in fantasy. Keegan Murray, Doc, will undergo surgery and miss 4 to 6 weeks. He suffered a thumb injury in the first half of Friday's game. I'm not high on Keegan Murray, right? It's just too jumbled and crowded there. Love him as a player, but he needs that opportunity. So I'm not like heartbroken that he's got this injury. I don't have any shares of Keegan. I won't have any shares of Keegan. But let's talk about the ripple effects here, Doc. Who does this benefit the most?
I don't really know, because I mean, is it Drew Eubanks? I don't know. I don't know much about Nick Clifford. Is it Malik Monk that gets the big bump? Probably Monk. Just because he's the one guy on their bench I know can play and score. Everybody else are just kind of mysteries to me. And then, but then you've got to play DeMar at power forward, and that doesn't really work. I don't know, Rick. This is your depth chart that I'm looking at. You tell me, bro.
I think Dennis Schroeder's a huge winner here. Doc, I'm taking Schroeder late, like real late. I think, Doc, what we're going to get from Dennis Schroeder is 14 points and 5 assists. Not bad. That's north of the waiver wire for me, right? If you're at 12 and 5, that might be waiver wire-ish. But if you're in Schroeder may go 14 and 6. You look at some of his recent stat lines when he gets 28 minutes, 30 minutes a game. That's where he cooks. And he's very consistent with that. He'll give you about a steal. His 3 ball's weird, right? Maybe about 1.5, maybe up to 2. But he's not a great fantasy goal guy. Again, he's a filler guy. He's just a stat accumulator, right? And I think late in the draft, he's a pretty good value right now. I think Malik Monk, he has not been good in the preseason, Doc, in either of the games. I think they've played 2 or 3, and I've read every box score that's been played in the preseason. Malik Monk's not popping at all. The shooting's not been good. Could just be a slow start. Could be some sulking. So it could, in theory, benefit Malik. But right now, I think the pendulum swings a little bit to Schroeder. And obviously now, like DeRozan and Levine and Sabonis are going to eat more. But their value's kind of, it is what it is. All right, Doc, we get more bad news here on Jalen Williams of OKC. Remember, he had the wrist surgery. He's still not shooting jumpers with his right hand. I believe it is time to panic.
Yep. He's still one of my guys. I still like him. But I was in the queue playing around. Rick and I have our 30 deep league is drafting right now. So I've been in that draft room a lot, playing around and getting guys in order for where I want them. And Jalen is not nearly as high as he is when he's healthy for me, especially you can't have an injured player in this league or you're kind of done. So yeah, I'm unfortunately dropping Jalen down my list. I mean, now like fourth round, third round earliest. Fourth round is probably where he's going to end up going. But I'm probably going to let other people mess with Jalen Williams. I just don't like the reports we're getting. I don't like the injury itself, and it just total buzzkill.
It really is, Doc. And you have Kenrich Williams has kind of a lengthy injury here too. So we talk about ripple effects. If J-Dub's 22 points is out of the lineup, it might be Chet's season. And this is really daunting, guys. Have you seen Anthony Davis in the preseason? Like he looks slow and just not good. The lines aren't popping. He had no defense in the last game for Dallas. So, we talk about these guys and what's going on. It's so important to contextualize what's happening. Anthony Davis is out of shape, okay? J-Dub can't shoot. That's a big problem. How long are we out from him shooting and then to ramp up to playing? I mean, I think we're looking at an extended absence here based on the reports. And I mean, we'll just go with the flow of that, but hasn't begun shooting with his right wrist. I'm freaked out. I'm not concerned. I'm freaked out. I would think, Doc, Case and Wall. No. Aaron Wiggins to me is going to be the big beneficiary here. Aaron Wiggins is kind of on the radar right now, I think. Don't you think he'll move into the starting lineup for J-Dub?
Yeah, I think Aaron Wiggins, Jalen Williams, and Cason Wallace and Alex Caruso, all four of those guys are going to get a bump. I like Wiggins the best out of that group.
All right, so we wish Jalen Williams well, but that's what's up, guys. We would not draft him. Doc, I just want to say this, and then I want to move on to Jalen Green news where we can talk. Guys, I mean, all these drafts, had a cash draft. What was it, Thursday? Had a cash draft last night. Okay, you guys are drafting Lauri Markkanen like in the 5th round, in the 4th round. I'm laughing at you. I'm mocking you. I'm ridiculing you because it's so stupid and it helps everybody else. People, do not draft this guy. How many times do we have to scream this? Wrist injury. He's been limited to individual workouts during the preseason, injured his wrist during Finland's run to finishing 4th place at Eurobasket. He's still limited to individual workouts, which means he's not going 5-on-5, which means he's probably not going to start the season on time. Why are you drafting him? All right, Doc, Jalen Green. This is like a LeBron, Jalen Williams thing to me, where we got to drop this dude now. Like, not completely off the radar, but I now have pause in drafting him. He's got a hammy, Doc, and the Suns hope to get him back in time for the season opener. You know how I feel about the word hope. How's this Jalen Green news hitting you here?
Yeah, it stinks, man. All this injury news sucks. It just does. Again, Rick, you and I are both the same way. We don't want to start off our year with injured guys on our team, and especially when the injury is not like a sprained ankle. It's like these are somewhat potentially serious injuries. We don't know how long these guys are going to be out, and I don't want to mess with Jalen Green for where I would have to draft him if I'm drafting a huge question mark.
Grayson Allen has been starting for him in the preseason, and that'll continue in the regular season if Green can't make it back on time. I do have a lot of shares of Green, Doc, and I'm kind of like out now, right? I don't regret drafting Jalen Green because I was getting him in like round 5. That's a good round to get Jalen Green, I think. And I do think he's going to play a lot of games and put up a lot of numbers this year. All right. But because because there's hope he'll be ready for opening night. There are some guys, Doc, that I draft over and over and over and over and over, right? Peyton Pritchard, Donovan Clingan, Walker Kessler, Brandon Miller. I draft them over and over and over, and anywhere I can get them, I get them, right? So Jalen Green's now not one of those guys anymore. But I'm not saying like kill it. It's kind of haunting and daunting a little bit. Might be ready, but the word hope throws me off there. Doc, we have a winner in the Boston point guard race, and his name is Peyton Pritchard. We know this because of Sunday's game. Friday's game, I'm getting confused. I got too many box scores in my head. All right, let me just get you to Sunday. They started Chris Boucher, Sam Hauser, Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, Jaylen Brown. Neemias Queta did not start in that game. That's why Hauser got the start. So Simons came off the bench. All right, so it's key because you had Brown and White in there. You also had Boucher in there, who's an established starter for them now. Hauser in for Queta. And then, boom, it's Peyton over Simons. Simons, I believe Peyton and Simons started the previous game together, but White and Brown weren't playing. And both Simons and Pritchard played really well in that Friday game. Well, in this one, Doc, why don't I have Pritchard's line up here? I have Simons' line, 21, 2-2 with a steal and 6 threes. What I can tell you, Peyton Pritchard filled the box score with love yesterday in that game. But, Doc, he had 2 steals, I think 2 or 3 threes, like a 14, 5-5 type of thing, if memory serves out the box Doc, but this is huge news. I'm ready to raise his hand in the middle of the ring. The winner's Peyton Pritchard.
Yep, and I actually, this is going to shock you, but I actually watched some of that game. I'm not a big preseason watcher. I'm more of a box score watcher, but I watched some of that game, and Pritchard looked awesome, man. I think Pritchard's going to have a big year. Derek White looks good to me. I can't wait for Chris Boucher to get me all excited, only to let me down for the 15th straight year of fantasy hoops. So yeah, it's Peyton Pritchard's world. I personally don't trust Anthony Simons. I don't know where he's going to end up.
Simons has been looking good, Doc. So is Boucher, by the way. Boucher on Friday, 19-9, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 2 threes. Okay. He should be in your top 150. He should be at like the end of your draft. And he probably power forward, center, which are valuable spots to fill. All right, Doc, Washington finally played. All right, we finally get a Washington box score. CJ McCollum started with Alex Sarr. Huge news, Doc. We finally get some good injury news, right? Alex Sarr started. I'll give you his line in a minute. Keyshawn George started. Grab a barf bag, Doc. Your homie, your boy, will not go away. Chris Middleton started this game, Doc. And you know what, Doc? He did not miss a shot. Perfect game for Chris Middleton.
I love that.
I know. It's just phenomenal news.
Now, maybe someone will draft him in our leagues.
And Bub Carrington got the start. Bub did not play well. I think Bub was 0 of 8, okay, if memory serves from that box. But Alex Sarr, Doc, did it. All right. Ding! Should be shooting up draft boards. 12-8, 2 blocks, 1 steal, 1 3. Love it. Chris Middleton, Doc, 11, 9, and 5. Good line. Low minutes. It's, and then 1 3. And Keyshawn George was very, very good, Doc. 11, 9, and 3, 4 blocks and a 3. So talk to me about what happened in Washington yesterday.
Well, didn't another game I actually watched a little bit of. Didn't Alex Sarr play against his brother, the other Sarr that had
he hit the game winner.
Game winner, yeah.
Olivier, yeah. That's exactly right.
I'm very impressed with myself on that one.
That was a good pull.
Alex Sarr, man, the fact that he was out there playing, I was kind of like, oh, okay. Well, he's healthy then. If he's playing in a preseason game, he should be good to go. So that's huge news. How did you say McCollum looked?
He looked I didn't say, I should have. He had 19 points, 5 boards, 2 assists, a steal, and 5 threes, Doc, in 25 minutes.
There you go. That's pretty good.
Dude, CJ's a baller. Dude, CJ's not, I'm in Washington, this sucks, I don't want to play. He's not that guy, dude. By the way, CJ McCollum's been on a lot of bad teams, Doc. Isn't he kind of used to this?
Yeah. Has he ever been on a good team?
A couple of those Portland teams were pretty good, right? With Dame, and a couple of them were pretty good, but never great. Didn't they make the West Finals one year and get stomped by Golden State? I think they did make the West Finals one year.
I don't know. Yeah. I was just happy to see Alex Sarr out there. I'm with you. I'm bumping him up my board a little bit. And McCollum is actually on my list of guys I will draft. And I think you can get McCollum super late.
You can get him 10th round, guys. Wait on McCollum. Okay. Maybe take the Shepherds, the KPJs. They're going a little higher, right? More upside. They're a little more attractive names right now. Just don't forget CJ McCollum. Kind of put him in your back pocket. Drew Holiday as well. Drew Holiday played very well in Portland's second game. He's got 2 goody games in a row now, Drew Holiday of Portland. So he should be drafted, I don't know, round 10, 11. I don't have that perfectly settled in my brain, but somewhere later in your draft, you should be targeting McCollum, Drew Holiday. They're going to be really nice goody guys for you. Don't be bored with them. Oh, I'm so bored with these guys. Not with those guys. Okay. Be bored with Rui Hachimura. He's the most boring fantasy player of all time. That's who you should be bored with. All right. Quick thing here, Doc. I've been drafting Walker Kessler despite the red flag. next to his name. He's got the back. He had the shoulder thing. He was a full participant at Sunday's practice. Okay, so that's awesome. And so just wanted to put that news out there. You should be just fully greenlit. Giannis, Doc. I'm noticing that he's now falling to the late first round. I think that's absolutely perfect because he has not played 70. He's played in the 60s, I think, 5 of the last 6 years in games. Okay, he's missing too many games. He did come back and play Sunday, 13, 10, and 3 in 21 minutes. So he's back. And Doc, I want to get you cooking again on Khalil Ware. Bro, the homie did it again Sunday against the Magic, 24 and 10, an assist, 2 steals, 2 threes, 3 straight double-doubles, okay, in the preseason. And Nikola Jovic has a back injury right now, and Khalil Ware got the start, Doc. I know you're high on this dude.
Bam didn't play in that one, right? I don't think.
I believe you are correct on that. While you talk, I will double check that.
No, but right. Khalil Ware has he's probably been the preseason MVP. I mean, he's had he's been the best scorer, the most consistent player, big numbers everywhere. I couldn't be more fired up about it. As you may have heard, a little school named Indiana beat Oregon to make me look really smart in football on Saturday. And Khalil Ware went to Indiana. I'm sure he was all fired up about that game as well. I'm fired up about Khalil Ware. When you figured out he wasn't going to be starting this year, and you're like, that's it, I'm dropping him down. And I was like, man, I don't want to drop him down. I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up on my guy. And then he's just turned out, and he's been awesome every preseason game. Now, does that mean he's automatically going to be awesome when they count? It doesn't. He could totally let us all down, but I really like where he's at. I like the way he's playing. I think the Heat like him. I think Eric Spoelstra likes him. So I'm back all in on Khalil.
Who was he drafted over last night? And I was excited about it. He let me have a center. It might have been Klingon. I can't quite remember. I had a $100 cash league draft last night, Doc. I'm happy to report I got Wemby. In a $100 league, bro. I had the second pick, and I'm like, take Jokic. I'm like, when? And he go, and boom. I mean, dude, 1 second went off the clock, and this dude took Jokic. I was like, yeah, let's go.
And is that a cash league with a bunch of strangers, just like on Yahoo or something?
Yep, exactly right.
Nice.
Exactly right. And pretty stoked with my team, bro. Pretty stoked with my team. It is such an advantage to get Wemby and then go, you get that late second, early third. I mean, you just got 3 monsters, basically. If you get, one of those top 4 spots, it is that's where you want to be. Obviously, it's luck of the draw. Matas Buzelis killed it again. 19 points with goodies in 25 minutes yesterday. Ace Bailey killed it again. 20 points, 7 boards, 1 dime, 2 steals, 2 threes. He has 45 points on 19 of 29 shooting in 2 preseason games. Should be rocketing up draft boards right now. I'm getting as much Ace Bailey as I possibly can. Doc, I'm noticing that people are hip to him, okay? So, like, you can't just let him go to the final rounds now. Like, you got to take him, I don't know, Doc, 9, 10, 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there is where you're going to need to take Ace Bailey right now. Are you perking up on Ace Bailey a little bit, bro?
Yeah, I'll draft him. And as far as Buzelis goes, people are finding out about him too.
Yeah, they are. You're right.
Like early on, it was the end of your draft, you get him. And then everybody's like, oh, Doc and Cam, we're probably right. This dude's getting minutes and he's going to ball out. So you can't really sit around and wait for Buzelis anymore, and that sucks. Dude, I tell you what, I'm reaching for my guys this year. There are several guys that I will be reaching for.
One of them for me is Walter Clayton Jr., Doc, and I was really stoked to see his Friday line, 25 and 5, 1 steal, 1 block, 2 threes. Love the kid, okay? Love him. And he was decent in the first preseason game, a rock star in the second. And he's, again, like a last pick of the draft type of guy. And if he doesn't play at the start of the season, you send him back to waivers. But I'm telling you, this kid, I think he's got star potential, like star potential. Dylan Harper, Doc, came back. Okay, this is a little earlier than I thought he would. He had left thumb surgery in early September. He had 9 points in 18 minutes. Shot the ball well. He played good in his preseason debut. So that I just kind of wanted to get that out here. Moses Moody, Doc, we have an injury. He's going to miss the rest of the preseason. Left calf issue, and they don't really know if he's going to play in the regular season. Start of the regular season. Obviously, that benefits Podziemski, who yesterday against the Lakers, Doc, had 23, 5, and 8 with a steal and 3 threes. I'm 99% sure that was a non-Curry game, but the pendulum swings back over here to BP, dude.
Yep, sure does. Yeah, I don't even know that I have any more to add to that. It's exciting. I was not fired up about Moody anyway. I was fired up about Podziemski, and I'm not even sure that Steve Kerr can slow down Podziemski at this point. But he's going to try. I guarantee that.
Podziemski's so good. He's a stud, man. I love like the fire and I love how hard he plays too. BP, you're our guy. DeAndre Ayton, Doc, last night against GSW, another great line. 14, 8, and 5, 2 steals and a block in 26 minutes. Okay, you should be drafting the SH asterisk T out of DeAndre Ayton. See, Doc, I didn't cuss. All right, one more thing, one more piece of news here, Doc, and then we're going to get into our bit, which is second half sensations to stash. All right, the last thing is there's an interesting thing happening in Portland right now, Doc. You have Shaedon Sharpe versus Denny Avdia versus Jeremy Grant. Shaedon Sharpe has started both games. This is huge. Denny Avdia has started one and bench one. Grant has started one and been off the bench for one. The priority so far appears to be Shaedon Sharpe over Denny and Grant. And Kamara's in that starting 5 with Holiday and with Kling.
Even if Shaedon starts over Denny, I'm not too worried about Denny. I think Denny's going to do the same stuff he did last year. I think the minutes are going to be there either way. But let's see what happens in the next game, because if they bring Shaedon off the bench and start those other two, then they're all even. But Shaedon started the first two, so he's probably in the driver's seat. It gives Shaedon a little bump for me. I'm not really dropping Denny Avdia.
Let me go to their last box score, Doc. I'm slightly discombobulated, or maybe not. Last box, they started Toumani Camara, Denny Avdia, Donovan Clingan, Drew Holiday, Shaedon Sharpe, and then Jeremy Grant. So coming off the bench. So all right, I had it right. I believe, Doc, and by the way, Jeremy Grant killed it. He had 18 points in 18 minutes. Okay, he freaking killed it off the bench in this game. To me, it makes no sense to play Jeremy Grant over Shaedon Sharpe, right? Like it just doesn't. Shaedon Sharpe is your huge part of your future. Jeremy Grant is not. And so I would like to see them rock this way. I actually like that starting 5. I think they could win some games with that starting 5. Shaedon Sharpe, the next time I do my rankings, Doc, we'll get maybe a round bump. I'm not going to shoot him up, but like that. But he'll get a bump. I think Shaedon Sharpe's season may be about ready to unfold. It is the Fantasy NBA today, brought to you by FanDuel. Rick Kamla, Hall of Famer Steve Alexander, aka Dr. A, my homie, my boy. We are brothers from another mother. We got the great Andre Lamouche with us as well. Let's get to some second half sensations here, Doc. I do want to tell people, go to sportsethos.com. You got Doc's My Guys article, my Pop Players article, the Brewski 150, which is actually the 240 because he gives and gives and gives. We have different subscription prices, okay? And obviously, it's very important for us, and it's also important for you. We're going to help you win. We're going to help you win bragging rights leagues, cash leagues, DFS, anything you can imagine. We have you covered. An awesome draft tracker, the best draft guide in fantasy basketball history, sportsethos.com. Thank you very much. Second half sensations to stash, Doc. I have a pretty lengthy list here. So let's go. Let's just play tennis here. And I want you to go first. Give me a guy who's on your second half. And I guess we should set this up a little bit. If you are a person that stashes, And I'm not a huge believer in that strategy, Doc. I need my goodies now, but I understand that it is a strategy that's deployed by a lot of people. And in a league where I have a massive bench, then I would stash a guy or two like this that we're about to talk about. So how are you kind of approaching this project here?
Well, that's a great question. I just kind of went team by team and looked at players I thought might be doing stuff late in the season, um, even though we're not talking about them much now. And my poster guy for this event is Delano Banton. I feel like every year he gets overlooked, and every year he does more than he's supposed to do, and does a lot of it late. And I guess if I'm kicking this off, I'm going to start in Indiana. Imagine that. Campaign is there. You might need to update your depth chart with that one. And Jarris Walker. Like, Jarris Walker is a guy that gets hyped every year. He never lives up to it. He's young. He's got upside. He's got a fantasy-friendly game. And then Campaign is a very capable point guard, as we've seen in the past. Tyrese Halliburton's gone. TJ McConnell's hurt. My buddies were up here from Indiana this weekend, and none of them were really very excited or high on McConnell as a starter for whatever reason. And two of them said, I think Campaign might become a thing at some point this year. So I think those are two guys that fit the criteria of what we're doing here. Hell,
I'm busy with the depth chart. You called me out. I don't paint on my Indiana depth chart. I'm all freaked out over
I'm
here.
not calling you out. I just noticed he wasn't there, and you probably panicked.
Just kidding.
It's like one of your children is missing.
Yeah, I'm updating it right now. I'm going to bump McConnell. I'm going to bump McConnell to third string. The reason I didn't put Campaign on here, and it was a mistake, but I literally saw it. I knew he was on Indiana, but I was like, all right, it's a non-guaranteed training camp deal. But you know what? Campaign always turns non-guaranteed training camp deals into a gig. So boom, he is now behind Andrew Nebhard on the Indiana depth chart. All right, so now let me give you a guy. I'm going to give you Ace Bailey, Doc. I believe that Ace Bailey's going to be good all year long. But, Doc, when we get to about March, what happens in Utah? Right? The vets take a seat. The young dudes take over. I think that's going to happen again this year. So I'm green lighting him like for the full season. He's not a stash for me, right? I want Ace Bailey's entire rookie season. I think he's going to be the second best rookie behind Cooper Flagg, statistically. So I just wanted to say that, but I think he's going, and this adds value to drafting him now in round 8, round 9, whatever it is. I'm really curious what his ADP is right now, by the way. I don't have that intel, right? I'm doing all these drafts. I have like a rough idea where it is, but might be like 88, 93. I don't know. Somewhere around there. But Doc, I think we're going to get even additional value on that because in March and April, when we're trying to win fantasy championships, I think Ace Bailey's going to be a rock star.
Yeah, I like that. I like Ace Bailey's. I mean, he's better. He's going to have a better season than Reese Sachet had last year. And he could even have a better season than Reese Sachet is going to have this year. Yeah, I kind of like Ace Bailey. And then staying in Utah, your guy, Walter Clayton Jr. is on my list.
Nice.
Are we going to have to wait for the second half for it to happen? Here's what I know about Walter Clayton Jr. I really don't know much about him. But I know that 6 months ago, 8 months ago, you and I were doing a show together, and you're like, Walter Clayton Jr. is my dog. And you kind of reiterated all of that today. And I remember telling you, I was like, well, I'm going to steal him from you in 30 deep. And you're like, you better not, or whatever. And so Walter Clayton has been on all my lists ever since that moment. And he plays for Utah. I don't watch Utah. I don't know that much about him, but you do your research, you get in the lab, you know who can play and who cannot. So if you would like to say some more things about Walter Clayton Jr., feel free. But I'm just keeping my eye on that guy. And the first minute he heats up this season, if he doesn't get drafted, you think he's going to get drafted in 12-team drafts, don't you?
Yes, I do. And I'm drafting him in 12-team drafts. You know what I mean? Doc, very, 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 very late. I want to stress like second to last pick or last pick, right? Clayton's not. I picked him up in one of my cash leagues, Doc. He was 3% rostered in Yahoo leagues. Okay. People are not hip to the Walter Clayton Jr. thing yet. They're not. Andre asked a great question. Are they producing enough early on to justify the stash, hoping for them to blow up later? The answer on Ace Bailey is yes. The answer on Clayton with that is no, unless, Doc, Isaiah Collier is hurt, hasn't played. Okay, that has completely opened the door for Walter Clayton Jr., who has played great, and he's a high draft pick for this team. So as it stands right now, I say no on Clayton. But we just need to get that news that or see the opening night box score or whatever, that he's starting for the Utah Jazz. That's why I'm just rolling the dice on him late right now, because I want to play this out and just see how this Collier thing goes. Does that make sense, Doc?
It absolutely does. Who you got?
So Filipowski, I have on my list here. I know we're kind of on the Jazz right now, but I mean, this is literally, Doc, are they not the team for this topic? The second half sensations to stash, right? I mean, that Utah is team that.
Utah, Charlotte, Washington, all those teams.
Great call. Filipowski, dude. I mean, Doc, we loved Filipowski at the end of last season. He was giving us 2010s with threes and defense. And dude, we couldn't stop talking about Kyle Filipowski, okay? And he's being drafted now and all this kind of stuff, and I'm not mad about it at all. But, when you've got Kessler, Markkanen, Bailey, I don't know how the backcourt's going to look, but he's obviously not going to start there. He's going to be a bench guy. They have Taylor Hendricks, Doc, who's playing very, very well in the preseason. Andre loves Taylor Hendricks, okay? And like Doc and I always say, Andre's a mastermind, okay? If he really likes a guy, there's something to that, okay? So there's a lot of dudes there, Doc. So, but he's a guy that I think it's worth the early season goodies are going to be decent, and then pop goes the weasel at the end of the year.
Okay. Yeah, I like it. Filipowski was one of my guys at the end of last year. He didn't really land in a great place as far as the depth chart in Utah this year. I just didn't see a huge route for him to blow up and be a guy that you had to draft on your team. But as soon as people start getting hurt, as soon as they start benching people in Utah, it's going to become Filipowski's season again. So I like it.
Who else you got?
I've got, let's see here. What about Jake LaRavia of the Lakers? If this LeBron thing lingers on forever, somebody's going to have to fill in for LeBron James, right? I don't know.
Jared Vanderbilt started last night, for what it's worth.
Okay.
Dalton Connect also started last night. Luka did not play, though.
Dalton Connect lives to ride another day. But I kind of like LaRavia's chances of getting a lot of run when LeBron's out. Now, Hachimura and Vanderbilt probably will too. Bronny, Dalton Connect, all those guys. LaRavia is a guy I'm kind of keeping my eye on, especially if things go south in LA and they kind of give up, then LaRavia could actually become something. So Jake LaRavia is a guy I'm looking at there. Maybe Maxi Kleber. I don't know. Lakers are going to be a mess without LeBron. I do know that.
But Luka's going to average 34 or 35 PPG, bro.
I hope.
I'm telling you, dude. Luka actually, dude, this may be the triple-double year from Luka. Dude, if you don't have Braun, Dude, Luka's going to have to play 38 minutes a game. Oh, my God. The goodies from Luka are going to be incredible. Have you guys seen have you guys seen Bryce Sensabaugh in the preseason? You guys noticed what he's doing? He's arguably the preseason MVP of the entire NBA. I do agree with Doc. I give it to Khalil Ware. Sensabaugh's in that conversation, though. He has been phenomenal in 2 games. Problem is, he's in this crowded scenario. Again, he's a guy like Walter Clayton. Sensabaugh could start at the 2 for Utah. Okay. I actually think he's ready for that assignment, Doc. He is becoming an elite 3-point shooter. I mean, look at the stat lines in the preseason. Huge games, big time 3 numbers. And at the end of last year, he was a silly season hero and a big time player, shot 42% from 3. He's a guy that I want to rock with Clayton to go into the season. Night 1, Sensabaugh starts over Walter Clayton. I'm going to send Clayton to waivers and pick up Sensabaugh. That's kind of where my head is at with this. Sensabaugh's not on my draft radar right now, but I'm very curious about that situation. And so, Doc, if he's coming off the bench, it would not be I like Andre was asking, this would not be worth it to stash Sensabaugh, get the 18, 20-minute lines waiting on March. No, just pick him up in March. Okay, but I think Sensabaugh is going to be a silly season hero once again, Doc, and he is ready for a bigger assignment, in my opinion. I like that player.
Wow, you've got the entire Utah bench on this list, don't you? I like it. I mean,
by the way, that's the last Utah player I've got. I'm officially out of Utah now.
Like you said, man, they're built for it. Like, that's what they do. That is who they are. I got Jay Huff on my list. All the talk right now is about Isaiah Jackson, and I still think Jay Huff has more talent than him, and I still think Jay Huff is going to do something at some point this year. But talk about a guy that has zero hype on him right now. It's Jay Huff. So blocks, threes, decent steal rate, good big man. I think Huff might be a thing later on.
I love that call, Doc, and he's a guy that I think is worth drafting now, riding it out, taking maybe some low-dough games and seeing how it goes. Because, guys, I want to tell you something. Gather around your computer, your phone, wherever you're consuming this fine podcast. Isaiah Jackson kind of sort of sucks. I'm over it. Remember when he first popped, he had some big block games, right? I'm always drawn to that. Oh my God, he had blocks, right? Like a mosquito to a light. Doc, have you seen his preseason lines? Isaiah Jackson's been garbage. Okay. Jay Huff, by the way, had 3 blocks in like 8 rebounds in like 16 minutes in their last preseason game. Way more on Huff than I am on Jackson. Huff is an end of the draft guy for me. And he is one of these guys where you're going to get, he's a stash where you take it now and then you get the pop. But I don't think we're going to have to wait that long for the pop, Doc. He's going to, I think, pretty obviously be bringing a lot more to the wood than Isaiah Jackson. All right, Doc. For me now, let's go to Washington. Okay. Cam Whitmore, Doc. Yeah, and he's a guy that I don't want now. He's talk to me in March, unless we get some, maybe February, right? When maybe McCollum is traded, maybe Middleton is traded or bought out, right? That's Cam Whitmore's season. But dude, they just insist on playing Middleton. By the way, we still have a Bilal Coulibaly thing. Where's he going to play, right? Is he going to bump Keyshawn George back to the bench? So, and I got for, just efficiency, Doc, I'll add Trey Johnson to this conversation as well, the rookie for Washington. A lot of people are high on Trey Johnson. I'm not mad at them, but I don't see a pathway to minutes early for either of these guys, for Whitmore or Trey Johnson. But I think both of these guys are going to be fan-freaking-tastic from about February on.
That's a good call, man. You love Cam Whitmore. I have a feeling you will be drafting Cam Whitmore in some leagues. I could see you owning Cam Whitmore in 30 deep. Speaking of which, I have a pick coming up in two picks, and I'm terrible. It's the most important pick I'll make this year, and I don't even know what to do. I'm looking at KD, James Harden, and Josh Giddey. Ugh. All right.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Ew. What's wrong with those choices?
I don't want to have to make that decision.
Well, you might not. How many picks are you away?
2.
2 picks and then you?
Yeah.
Well, they could go Durant and Harden, and then you just take your guy.
That's true. That's a good call.
Andre said just pick Giddey, and Harden and Giddey's a tough call for me, but I don't disagree with Andre. Just take Giddey.
I mean, that's
your boy.
Who I want to take.
That's your boy.
I hope Frankie Lloyd and Eric Moody aren't listening to this right now. All right, back to our regularly scheduled program. I've got Rob Dillingham. On my list because Mike Conley. Why not? 50-year-old Mike Conley starting at point guard for Minnesota. Dante DiVincenzo is no longer there. I mean, if there was ever a year for Rob Dillingham to actually do something to kind of break out, it's now. So they've never really given him the keys to the car, though, right? Like it was DiVincenzo, and then it's always been Mike Conley. Like let Dillingham play, man.
By the way, Dillingham and Terrence Shannon have been fantastic so far for Minnesota, Doc. They have popped. Every time I look at the box score and I go down to the bench, I'm like, okay, who had that line? That's Shannon. I look for big numbers, right? Who's in double-digit points, any defensive goodies. Try to look at minutes. But who's popping off the bench? And both of them are popping off the bench. Doc, I can't really wrap my head around VJ Edgecombe. I guess maybe I'm stealing some thunder from the segment we're going to do, the hardest guys to rank and evaluate. He's one of them for me. I just don't know how that's going to fit and look, and Grimes and Maxey, and when is Paul George back, and when is McCain back, and it's kind of Eric Gordon's still there, Doc. They still got that old guy that's going to play. Eric Gordon ain't there to just sit on the bench. He's going to play 22, 24 minutes. You know this. Oubre's going to play 30 minutes. You know this, okay? So I don't know. But I feel like if things crater in Philly and they tank again, VJ Edgecombe's going to be fan-freaking-tastic either from February on or March on. So I'm not drafting him right now. I'm letting other people kind of deal with that. But so he's not a stash for me right now. He's just a guy that I want to play out the season and maybe get him off waivers. But I think he will spike late in the year.
Yeah, I think there's a very good chance that Edgecombe is going to spike later in the year and maybe earlier than that. Like he might be good right from the jump, just because of all the weirdness with George and Embiid and the tank and all that. And then I'll stay in Philly. I'm going to throw 2 guys out there, Rick. I'm going to say your guy, Jared McCain, and my guy, Adam Bona. I think Bona fills in whenever Embiid is gone, which is probably going to happen at some point if it hasn't already. And Jared McCain is a good player. How long is McCain out, Rick? I did not look that up. Is it? You're muted.
There's so many injuries, Doc. I'm kind of lost in some details right now. I don't even remember what the injury was, to be completely honest with you. I think he's going to miss about the first month of the season. But okay. I just saw injury, extended period of time, and we talked about it on the show, but it was several weeks ago, and he's kind of,
But I think McCain and Bona and Justin Edwards could all be guys that are doing stuff late in the year to help your team.
I like it, Dr. A. I like it a lot. Guys, download our app. The Sports Ethos app is amazing. I'm on it all the time, getting blurbs on NBA players. If I'm out at a club on a Saturday night, Doc, and there's a quiet moment, pop it up. All right, what happened tonight in the association? Sports Ethos on the app. It's free. It's all right there. Okay, go get it. We'd appreciate it. Hey, Doc, I want to take you into one of my draft strategies. I feel like Andre says UCL tear in his right thumb. Thank you, Andre. So that's a 4 to 6 week thing. He might miss the first month of the season. I don't know. Doc, there's some corners and haunts of fantasy basketball that they just maybe kind of Brooklyn. They just other than Nick Claxton, I'm anesthetized on Brooklyn, bro. So bored. I don't want to read the box scores. I don't care about that. It's our job to know the news and stuff like that. But that's work. Right. This usually isn't work. This is fun. But when I got to do Brooklyn stuff, that's work. It's like, anyway, Doc, I am taking DeJounte Murray in round 8. So I've told you what I'm doing here. And this is in like a 12-team league, right? First 5 picks are goody guys, guards, forwards. Looking at PFs, SFs, SGs, and PGs, period. Okay. Not taking any centers. Y'all can have Cat, Sabonis, and all these guys, Şengün, and all these guys. Nope. Round 6, I'm banging Kessler. Round 7, I'm banging Gobert or Klingon. And then round 8, Doc, feeling very good about my team, right? I've got my 5 goody guys. I got my 2 double-double block shot guys. Okay, now let's get freaky. I'm taking DeJounte Murray. Okay, because Doc, the word is like maybe January on a return for him. So I want to get DeJounte, put him on IL, and then mid-season drop, 27-7 with 2 steals and 2 threes. I mean, DeJounte Murray's got one of the best stat lines in fantasy basketball. So I would recommend you guys take him in round 8, stash him, and get those goodies. So he's a highlight guy for this piece in this segment right here, Doc, for me. He's like the poster child for me for this whole I probably should have started with him, but my list was kind of not ordered. But anyway, are you seeing the logic in drafting DeJounte Murray in round 8, especially in a cash league, right? Where I don't play it conservative in cash leagues. I go for it in cash leagues. I think you have to. You're playing with sharps. Everybody's put a lot of money into it, okay? And so I just feel like you got to be aggressive in a cash league, and I feel like DeJounte's an aggressive draft pick.
I mean, that is the true definition of a stash. Like you're not stashing some kid that you hope gets some silly season heroic moments. You're drafting a bona fide fantasy stud that you think is going to be back in January, and you're fully prepared to sit on him on your injured reserve. So all that really means is you got to hope the rest of your team stays healthy, so you don't have to free up that injured reserve spot for somebody else because you're having bad luck.
Dude, so to that point, in the cash league I was in last night, I took DeJounte in round 8, and Tatum was going and going and going and going. And I wanted to take Tatum like with maybe the last pick. You know why I didn't, Doc? I went to the settings and looked, and they only have 2 IL spots. That's it, which sucks. But they only have 2 IL spots. So one of them is taken up by DeJounte Murray. So, Doc, let's say 2 of my guys get hurt, right? Now I'm going to have to put one of those guys in the IL. I'm not dropping DeJounte Murray. So now I'm going to have to carry an injured guy and lose man games. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's why that Doc always says, check the settings and see how many IL spots you have. If there were 4 or 5 IL spots, I would have drafted Jason Tatum, but I didn't because of that rule. I think it's your turn, Doc, unless I'm kind of – yeah, we were talking about DeJounte. Who's next on your list? And by the way, we're talking about second half sensations that are worthy to stash here right now or not. And we're kind of vetting that. So, Doc, go back to your list, my friend.
I've got Spencer Dinwiddie written down here.
Ooh.
Not because I love Spencer Dinwiddie, but because he plays behind a gentleman named LaMelo Ball in Charlotte. LaMelo Ball goes down. Guess what? Boom. Dinwiddie, I would think, would become the guy. Maybe it would be Colin Sexton. I don't know. But I just feel like Dinwiddie might be one of those guys when LaMelo Ball goes down, we all may be running to the waiver wire to get Dinwiddie.
I'll also take you into another one of my cash league deals, Doc. I got sniped on Kessler, and I was really pissed. Like pick before. And you know me and Kessler, right? That's my guy. Pick before, Walker Kessler taken. So I was like, and I went Embiid.
Oh, wow.
I went Embiid. And then, Doc, you know what I did? I backed him up with Bona. And you know what? I feel great about that strategy. And again, it's a cash league. You got to be aggressive. I got maybe 30-11 with 5 assists and a block and a half and a 3.5 from Joel Embiid in the 5th round, right? Okay, maybe it's only 45 games. Guess what? I have Bona, okay? I think that's a strong strategy, especially in cash leagues. Take what you get from Embiid. Might be 40 games. They're going to be 40 phenomenal games. By the way, Doc, the reports are that he looks fantastic in Sixers practice. There was Keith Pompey said he looked like his old self. Okay, so I think Embiid might have been sandbagging a little bit because he's healthy. He's going live in practice, and he's actually tracking towards beginning the season on time. Okay, and he's a 5th round pick right now. I've got Zach Edey written down here, Doc, because I think, and he's a guy that I am taking DeJounte Murray style, but people are taking Edey, dude. Like, because I'm like, I have him in my queue, right? And I want it to be like a round or two later, and I'm going to hit Edey, right? But they're taking him when I'm taking like a Reed Shepherd or a Kevin Porter Jr. So Edey's still kind of a really popular guy. A little bit too rich for my blood right now, but I do think he's going to be a second half hero, Doc. And I don't really have a lot of shares of him because you're drafting an injured guy. And like I said, he's going at an ADP where I'm just prioritizing other things and other guys because I've already gotten my Klingon and my Gobert, or my Kessler and my Klingon, and my Sarr. I mean, I'm drafting a bunch of Alex Sarr as well. So what do you think about Edey as a second half sensation?
I don't think it's a bad call. He's injured to start the season, so I don't want to draft Zach Edey right now. And he's I'm not going to say he's a great player, but he's built for this, right? Like, he's built to play center in the NBA, and he's going to have blocks. He's going to have rebounds. He's going to have great field goal percentage. I think it's a good call. My next guy that I've got here, I'm going to go with Scottie Pippen. I know that Scottie Pippen Jr. will keep it in Memphis. Scottie Pippen Jr. is not starting over Ty Jerome. Ja Morant is not playing right now, but I still, just like Khalil Ware, I still have faith in Scottie Pippen. I really like his game. I like the fact that the hype is kind of like totally gone. There's no hype about Scottie Pippen Jr. right now. So I should be able to get him at the end of my drafts. And I think Ja's going to be in and out all year. I think Pippen's going to eventually win the coaching staff over before the season's over. So I'm going to take a flyer on Scottie Pippen.
I like it. I'm not on that boat with you, but I don't dislike what you said. But Ty Jerome starting. Pippen did play two guard a lot last year. They have KCP there right now, who's starting. But yeah, I could definitely see second half sensation from Scottie Pippen. He's a guy that I don't want to leave the station with him right now. I don't want to take that journey with him right now. He'd be a waiver wire pickup for me in February or March. But I dig it, Doc. PJ Washington, Doc. I don't know if you've noticed this, but he has been killing it in the preseason. He's put up 2 fat lines. He'll come off the bench. And you got Anthony Davis, who I just don't see a good season from Anthony Davis. So PJ Washington, Doc, for me is a guy that I would draft now. I would get his bench goodies. And then anytime Anthony Davis is out, you're going to get a rock star game from PJ Washington. So I like him full season, but I think as the season goes on, his numbers are going to take off.
Your Anthony Davis drag was perfect, by the way. You just drug him down and drug him down and drug him down. And now looking at it now, you're like, man, I may even drop him even further. Like, he's out of shape. All right, I got one more guy. We're out of time anyway. I'm going to want some Peyton Watson when Cam Johnson gets hurt in Denver. Why are you laughing?
Just because you said when Cam Johnson gets hurt. It's
not an if.
That's why I'm laughing. It was a funny line, dude.
It's factual. So yeah, and when Cam goes down, I'm going to want some Peyton Watson. There's been a lot of hype about Peyton Watson over the years. He's never really gotten the chance to go out and do it. Aaron Gordon is in his way. Other guys have always been in his way. But I think if Cam goes down, I think Peyton Watson could become a thing.
I don't disagree. I do not disagree. Doc, I'll give you these last. I'll give you three guys, Doc, and I'm going to just kind of add all these guys up, and you just kind of pick what you want from it. Zach Collins of the Chicago Bulls. He's been putting up good stat lines in the preseason. When Vucevic was out last year, Zach Collins, Doc, we know this was a thing. We couldn't stop talking about him, screamed at you to pick him up off waivers. It was a short run, but it was a good run. I don't see Vucevic finishing the season in Chicago. When he's either bought out or traded, it'll be Zach Collins' season, unless they bring another big back. And so I don't know about all that right now. But I know that the pivot off of Vooch last year was Zach Collins, and I know that I liked it. I liked it a lot. He is not a guy that I want to leave the train station with at the beginning of the year. It's an evaluate Vooch and jump. The second Vooch has moved, bam, you got to go get Zach Collins. Ryan Kalkbrenner, Doc. And Kalkbrenner might win the starting center job. He's coming off of a double-double in a start where Diabate was coming off the bench. I like his stat set, Doc. I really do. I like the player. And so he's a guy that I will draft and take the goodies. And then I anticipate a second half spike. And one of my guys, Doc, Trey Mann. Like what happens in Charlotte? You've got Sexton, you've got Dinwiddie. I'm forgetting a guy. You got Knipple. Let me just go to the depth chart. I'm getting all lost in the sauce here on Charlotte.
My bad. Is it Kalkbrenner?
Well, I already said Kalkbrenner, but okay, Dinwiddie. You said Dinwiddie, Sexton, Mann, Knipple. Okay, like any of those four guys could be silly season heroes. But Trey Mann's already gotten a start in the preseason. By the way, Knipple, they're experimenting with him off the bench, Doc. That two-guard spot in Charlotte is fluid right now. Mann got a start. Sexton got a start. I think Knipple started that first game. So I'm not sure Knipple's going to for sure start. Sexton or Mann may start. So that's why I bring up that spot right there. I don't know how it's going to look yet, Doc. We still have questions that need to be answered. But I like Trey Mann, and if Trey Mann is ever unleashed, Doc, you're going to get goodies. Trey Mann is one of the best players in the league that doesn't play. Trace Jackson Davis is one of the best players in the league that doesn't play. These guys are really good. They're caught in a numbers game right now.
I'm going to circle back to your Zach Collins pick. Like, I loved Zach Collins last year. The last couple of years, I've liked Zach Collins, using him when the starter is out. Like, he's a very competent backup. And if Vooch gets moved and they don't bring a center back, I mean, it could be Zach Collins' season big time. So I like that. I like that logic.
Doc, let's get into the FanDuel Futures portion of our program and say goodbye to the folks. We love FanDuel. We are sponsored by FanDuel. We are the Fantasy NBA Today, brought to you by FanDuel. We did not have a live ranking adjustment on the air today, brought to you by
FanDuel. I did, because I just took Josh Giddey over my boys James Harden, Kevin Durant, and other unnamed players that I love.
Wait a second. So you had your choice of all three of those guys?
Yep.
And you took Giddey?
Yep.
Not mad at you. Giddey's been phenom in the preseason. He's been phenom. He's been everything we thought he was going to be. And not more, because the minutes haven't been there.
He carried me on a lot of teams last year, but I got him in like round 5 or 6, not round 1. So, well, in a 12-team league, this would have been round 2. It was like pick 14 or 15. So, yeah, that's where we are. Okay,
that's the Giddey zone. All right, FanDuel Futures, steals per game leader. Obviously, you're like, duh, Dyson Daniels. He is at a very attractive minus 130. Based on the gap between him and number 2 last year, you would think this would be minus 180, minus 200. Minus 130 is good value here. Again, it's a full season play, right? It's a future bet, but I like Daniel's dock at minus 130. And then, like I've been speculating, I believe that Ausar Thompson and Amen Thompson are going to challenge for second place in steals this year. And Ausar's at a plus 700. Amen is at a plus 1,400. Doc, SGA's at a plus 1,900. Case and Wallace plus 3,000. My boy Herb Jones at a plus 3,000. My boy Tamani Kamara at a plus 3,500. And I will stop there.
Yeah, I think Dyson's the smart money. Aser and Amen, I believe I'm right there with you. I mean, they're going to challenge him. I like Amen a little more than Aser, but Vegas doesn't. And then if I'm going to swing for the fences and try to hit the big one, I think I'm going with Herb Jones. He's known for his steals. Like before Dyson Daniels, Herb Jones was Dyson Daniels. Like not a lot of offense, tons of steals, tons of D. But now he's sort of forgotten about with Dyson. So I think the plus 3,000 on Herb Jones, if you're trying to hit a home run, that's the way to go.
I like it, man. I like it a lot. So yeah, I think Dyson's the smart money here as well. And if I had to kind of roll the dice, it would be on Amen at plus 1,400. I don't really understand. I know based on last year's numbers, and I don't really understand Osar being double the odds of Amen. That doesn't really compute for me. But we love you over at FanDuel, and we recommend you go to FanDuel.com, set up an account, or just investigate and see what you can do over there. They're great, and their stuff's so easy to use, man. I love my FanDuel account. All right, guys, a couple of reminders before we get out of here. Please subscribe to our Sports Ethos YouTube channel. Please subscribe to our Fantasy NBA Today podcast feed. We would love it if you downloaded our app. It's completely free, and it's got blurbs on MLB, NFL, and Major League Baseball. And then, obviously, sportsethos.com, best fantasy draft guide. Please get a subscription. There's all kinds of different price points for you. It's affordable, and it's a ton of value for you, and the best content in the fantasy space. For Hall of Famer Steve Alexander, for the great Andre Lemouche, I am Rick Kamla. This has been the Fantasy NBA Today, brought to you by FanDuel. Peace.
Go get that draft guide.